Star Wars Squadrons is a game focused on strategy and teamwork, and since the game's release, I'm seeing more and more players dive into the tactics and mastering its game mechanics. But there are several things I'm seeing a lot of people dislike about the game. Things like other players' habits, gameplay mechanics, immersion breaking elements, bad stuff. So here are 10 things players hate about Star Wars Squadrons. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Players who leave ranked matches. This might be one of the most frustrating elements of Squadrons. When someone leaves an online match of Squadrons, you'll see this message appear. A player abandoned the game, MMR will not be scored. MMR stands for matchmaking rating, so basically when you see this message, the match no longer counts towards your rank. Squadrons has quite a deep rank system which allows you to level up and play against other pilots of a similar skill level, and unfortunately you end up seeing this message all too often while playing Squadrons online. Players who leave are penalized by being put in a pool with longer matchmaking times and less priority in matchmaking when they go to join another game, but sometimes it might not even be their fault if they've left. I've had several issues with Squadrons where halfway through a match my game crashes and this counts as me leaving. Internet dropouts will also obviously cause you to leave, and the game does give you an option to rejoin once you're back in the menus, and this shouldn't affect ranks and matchmaking if you choose to rejoin, but why not just have the empty player slot replaced with an AI pilot? AI fleet battles exist, so there are AI teams and AI squadrons in the game, and I feel like having an AI player join is better than losing out on ranking points. Bad support players. If you've played some Squadrons online fleet battles, you'll know how vital the support class is to your team's success. The ability to resupply allies with ammo and health without having to fly all the way back to the hangar allows your team to stay on the offensive, deliver bombing run after bombing run, keep your interceptors supplied with rockets, and hopefully dominate the battle. So when your support is more focused on trying to take down other enemy ships instead of supporting squad mates in doing so, it can be really frustrating. The support class isn't really built for taking down other enemy starfighters. It can do so, but takes a little extra firepower and isn't as maneuverable as, say, the fighter or interceptor classes. It's great getting in a match where someone's already playing as support, so you don't necessarily have to go and do it, but if they're not doing their job actually supporting the squad, they may as well just switch to another class. No S-foils control. This is something so many Star Wars fans have always dreamt of doing. The line,
"Lock S-foils in attack position." Lock S-foils in attack positions.
Lock S-foils in attack position. This is something we've always wanted to do. Being able to press a button and watch as the wings of your X-Wing open and you're ready to attack. The Star Wars Battlefront Rogue One X-Wing VR mission had this, so why not Squadrons? It's likely because Squadrons allows you to play as multiple starfighters, not just X-Wings, meaning it'd be strange to assign one button specifically for one ship. It'd be a great little Easter egg though, and a cool detail that'd make Squadrons an even more authentic Star Wars experience. I guess if they ever end up adding the B-Wing, it'd be cool to do this with this ship also, because we see that in the films too. Vanguard and Titan Squadron in multiplayer. This one's an audio issue I've seen a few players mention. Vanguard and Titan Squadron are the squadrons you fly with during story mode, but for some reason, the audio comms you hear pre-round in multiplayer still calls your squadron out as Vanguard and Titan.
Okay, this is Vanguard 2 standing by. Vanguard 3 at the ready.
Vanguard 4 ready for battle.
No matter what paint job or customization cosmetics you have applied to your ship, you still hear this, which completely breaks immersion. The point of Squadrons multiplayer is to fly as your own squadron, to customize your ships and fly with your friends into battle, not to still be a member of the story mode squadrons. It'd be great to hear just a general all wings report in, maybe like Pilot 2 standing by instead of Vanguard 2. I guess they're trying to still fit you in with the continuity of the universe and story in multiplayer, but to me, this is just downright lazy and cutting corners.
Titan 1 at the ready. Titan 4 at the ready.
Let's actually make this a real thing, or even make custom voice lines for each paint job. That's something I'd love to see. Targeting jammers. This is one of the most powerful, but also most frustrating customization components to play against. The targeting jammer hides you from the enemy radar and is basically like a stealth ability. Activate this and you won't appear when the enemy is cycling through targets, meaning you'll be able to get much closer to capital ships and in and behind the enemy for a surprise attack. A very powerful component, and the reason it's on this list is because of how frustrating it can be to play against. Again and again, I've run into teams using this ability. You think you've taken down their squadron, and before you know it, there's someone on your tail there to shoot you down, clearing the way for bombers to hit your capital ships. Combining this with the reflect hull, which gives you a passive stealth ability, preventing enemies from targeting you at long range, could help you become the ultimate stealth starfighter, and this is something that's super frustrating to play against, albeit very effective. The timer strategy. Well, that's what I'm calling it anyway. I've run into a few teams pulling this off, although it's a real dirty way of winning. Basically, the idea is to get on the offensive as fast as possible, destroy the frigates, deal a little bit of damage to the opponent's capital ship, and then hang way back close to your capital ship while your team is still on the offensive, and farm AI to maintain morale and run down the clock. At the end of the match in squadrons, if neither capital ship has been destroyed, the team who's dealt the most damage wins. So this strategy basically makes you incapable of losing. I haven't found a way to counter it yet either. It's such a boring way to win, especially considering fleet battles go for 30 minutes each on the clock, dealing some early damage and then waiting out what's left of the 30 minutes while your team hangs back near your capital ship in safety. It's not how the game was intended to be played. I'm hoping we see a patch that prevents teams from doing this in the future. It's frustrating, tiresome, and if they're pulling it off well, you can never seem to accumulate enough morale to swing your team back onto the attack. So really annoying. Tractor beams. Have you ever been on a bombing run? You've flown your way to the enemy's capital ship, been lucky or skilled enough to survive their defenses, fly under the shields, and then got caught in the tractor beam. This has happened to me too many times. The only way to get out is to either use your boost or shoot and destroy the tractor beam. Shooting it isn't always an option though, because by the time you swing your ship around to face the tractor beam, you'll probably already be dead. So just hope that you have enough boost stored up to get out of there, or use the power conversion ability as the Empire. If you don't act quick, you're going to get picked off by either an enemy player or the capital ship's auto turrets. And you might not have even had the chance to drop your bombs, so the whole bombing run is wasted. The Star Destroyer has 2 tractor beams underneath the ship on your way to the power systems, and the MC-75 also has a couple underneath close to the hangar. Teammates who don't ping. Using the ping system in squadrons is essential to good teamwork, whether you're chatting to your squadron or not. Being able to highlight enemy locations and targets to focus on, whether that's a bomber making its way towards your capital ship or a support ship which needs taking down, learning how to ping changes the way you play and interact with your team. So it can be frustrating when the squadron you're playing with either doesn't know how or doesn't use the ping system. It's fairly simple. On controller, press triangle on PS4 or Y on Xbox to ping the target you're locked onto, and this target will then appear on your allies' scanners, allowing them to focus their fire on your target. Great for pinging someone on your tail if you need saving, or focusing your team's efforts on the one objective. You should learn to start using this. My favorite combo is to double tap X or A on an Xbox, which brings up the closest target, and then triangle or Y on Xbox to let my team know who it is I'm going after. Great when your teammates use the ping, annoying when they don't, because pretty soon your team will start to fall apart and you'll have trouble coordinating objectives. Astromech banter. One of the great things about flying with an astromech droid is the fact you feel like you're not alone. This is part of what separated the Rebels from the Empire in A New Hope. Droids in Star Wars are in many cases companions, and being able to talk to your astromech, whether that's by pressing a button or seeing their translated message pop up on your dashboard, would have been a unique and immersive gameplay mechanic to add. I know some people will probably use TeamSpeak to achieve this kind of experience and program voice commands like R2 all power to shields, and I know not all ships in the game have astromech droids on board. In fact, I think it's only the X-Wing and Y-Wings that do, but it just would have been cool is all. I feel like this is part of that immersive starfighter experience and something we've seen in other Starfighter games like the VR Mission and even Project Stardust. They have things where you can at least in subtle ways interact with your astromech, so it would have been cool to see a bit more of that in Squadrons. Bugs. Unfortunately for some players, Squadrons has been riddled with bugs and crashes, making the game a less memorable experience. I personally know several people who've had crashes during the game's story mode. Some people have been unable to complete the Fleet Battles tutorial. There have been many bugs with the progression and rank system, all of which are being worked on and ironed out by the developers in patches and bug fixes, but these have made Squadrons a frustrating experience for some, and not for the right reasons. Hopefully soon the game will be in a much better place. It's already vastly improved since launch, but still hoping to see some of those other performance issues fixed in the near future. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, what's one thing you dislike or even hate about Squadrons? Anything you wish was different or could have been better? Let me know in the comments. For more Squadrons, you can check out one of these videos here and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord to stay up to date on Star Wars gaming, Star Wars news, Squadrons, and everything else. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.